Hello, welcome to Pablo Spot. I'm George. Welcome to this channel where I explore anything and everything around DevOps and cloud technology in general. And today, I am going to start fresh. This I feel is a good time to go back to basics and look deeper into the different components that build up HashiCorp's Terraform tool. And I am hoping that this will help provide a better understanding and appreciation of this tool to build infrastructure code. And I am going to start with a series on the value and use of variables in Terraform. I know it's been a while since I last said this, but let's start coding. When working in the DevOps space, there are a few important principles that we need to keep in mind. While low-level knowledge of infrastructure resources are accessible these days through infrastructure code, it is very important to keep the manageability and reusability principles in mind. This means we need to make infrastructure code as dynamic as possible, and variables are one of many elements of Terraform that can help us achieve this. So let's have a look at this sample Terraform code. This code as it stands is very static and not extensible. If I go ahead and apply this infrastructure code, all the hard-coded values will be used to stand up the infrastructure resource. However, if I change my mind or the requirement for my infrastructure changes, as an example, I want the instance size to be larger, I will need to go back to this code and change the hard-coded value. This obviously is not very flexible, let alone sustainable on the long run. Every time I need a change in the property, I need to change the code, which can be risky for accidentally changing unintended values, and it can be very unnecessary. It is best practice to only make changes to infrastructure code if it makes sense to make changes. And so this is where the fundamental value of Terraform variables come in. So let's refactor this code and make it use variables. If you have been watching my previous videos with Terraform code, you would have noticed that I organize all my variables in one file called variables.tf. So let's go ahead and create that. The reason I do it this way is out of personal convenience. If I see my Terraform files, I want to be able to know straight away where to go to check for elements of my code, be it a variable, a local parameter, resource, or output properties. And so inside my variables.tf, I will add a new variable block called instance type. The basic properties of a variable block that I usually put include the description, and variable type. And what I can do next is go back to my main.tf and change the hard-coded value to reference the variable that I just created. And now, if I switch to my VS Code terminal and start running the usual Terraform commands to verify my infrastructure code, as usual, I need to initialize my AWS credentials using AWS Vault. And then start running Terraform init. And then now I'm going to run Terraform plan. If I simply run Terraform plan, the command will prompt me for the values that I need to pass for the variable definitions that I have set. In my case, I only defined one variable for my instance type, so it is prompting me for the value that needs to be assigned to that variable. So let me go ahead and assign a value. And now the Terraform plan goes through. Before we go any further, if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and click the bell button to get notified of any new videos published on this channel. So let's get on with it. Like I always do, and I suggest you do so as well, let's review the result of the plan. So the result shows that one resource is going to be created for the EC2 instance that I set inside my main.tf, which is what I expected. This setup is a lot more dynamic than what it was originally. If I need to change the type of the instance that I need to stand up, I can simply change the value that Terraform will prompt me for when I run Terraform plan. If I want this command to run without the prompt, which is essentially what we need when we start automating all the Terraform commands, I can do two things. Number one, I can pass the variable value as parameter to my Terraform command, or number two, define a default Terraform variable file that will automatically inject the values when I run Terraform plan. Let's explore both instances. So let's start with the first way. When running Terraform plan, I can pass a parameter called -var followed by the variable name, an equal sign, and the variable value like this. The output I get on this run is exactly the same as when I ran Terraform plan and I was asked to input the instance type. The other way to do this is defining a default Terraform variables file. So let me head back to my code and create a new file called terraform.tfvars. Inside this file, I can then start adding the variable name and equal sign and the value I want to be passed for that variable. And because I set my variable type as string, I will need to enclose the value with quotes. And now, if I switch back to my terminal and simply run Terraform plan, and I get exactly the same result. With the terraform.tfvars file, Terraform will scan for existence of this file along with all the other Terraform configuration files, and it will use the variable values that are set inside this file when running the command. You may be wondering what will happen if we combine both. For example, if we already have a terraform.tfvars and we start running Terraform commands passing the -var values. Before we explore that scenario, let's quickly have a look at what the Terraform plan result is when running with terraform.tfvars. Note that the instance type on this output shows a value of t3.micro. Now, let's collapse this one and clear this. And let's start running Terraform plan passing the dash bar in the command line. And then I'm going to change the instance type to T3 large. If I go ahead and expand this output, and then head to the instance type field, notice that the instance type is T3 large, which is what I pass in the command instead of T3 micro, which is what has been set inside my Terraform tfvars. What this means is that the variable value that is passed using the dash var parameter in the command line overrides the default value defined inside Terraform.tfvars. And that's all I have for now. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the use and value of Terraform variables in infrastructure code. In the meantime, let me know your thoughts in the comments below and send me some likes if you find this useful. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like the content on this channel. Until next time, keep learning and stay safe. See ya.